The thing that these two films have in common is that they both surprised me, but in very different ways. One surprised me by how much I liked it, more than I expected, and the other surprised me in the opposite way. Welcome to another movie review video. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week, and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. I will leave my movie reviews playlist, link is up above, in case you are looking for something to watch this weekend. But my trend recently has been to find two movies each week that have something in common. So last week was documentaries, the week before it was sequels, and this time it is movies that surprised me in very different ways. So firstly, I went to see 12 Mighty Orphans. I said to somebody, I'm going to see 12 Angry Orphans. I was thinking of the 12 Angry Men movie where they're all in the jurors room. 12 Mighty Orphans, and that is key because the football team created is literally called the Mighty Orphans, and it's shortened to the Mites. So this one stars Luke Wilson, and he goes to Depression era, when I say Fort Worth, I think it's Fort Worth, where he goes as a math and science teacher and football coach. And the interesting twist on it is that this is very much an underdog sports movie story, which I've recently decided is actually a trope that I really enjoy. I went to see Dream Horse and I like that. I really need to go ahead and watch The Mighty Ducks because I've never seen that one, and I know I need to watch that. But like Gridiron Gang and just, yeah, like all these movies, A League of Their Own, that kind of thing. I don't necessarily watch these sports, but when they're in a movie and they're an underdog, it's made for me. So yeah, it's a classic football underdog story, but it's got the added twist of the fact that Luke Wilson is a World War I veteran, and some things happen to him there that we learn about through flashbacks. This channel's always spoiler free, so I won't go into exactly what happened to him. But additionally, he is going to take on these orphans and create a football team and give them an education in Depression era Fort Worth. It was interesting seeing the shots of like Fort Worth at the beginning, comparing that to what Fort Worth looks like now. I think they did a good job of that. The cinematography was really good. He sort of pairs up with Martin Sheen, who has some issues of his own, and then there are some nasty things that happen. But, you know, it's a very triumphant, feel-good film. I went into this film basically knowing nothing about it. I'd seen the trailer for it a few times, but it had always come on when I was doing something else at the same time. So generally, while the trailers are on in the cinema, I listen to my audiobook. If you've ever seen my reading vlogs, you will know that. And so I've never paid full attention to the trailer because I thought it didn't look like my kind of thing. It reminded me a little bit of that Clint Eastwood movie with the pecans that kept getting trailered, like the beginning part of that. And so I just didn't pay it a second heed. And then I was looking for something to watch because I was running out of things to watch. This came along and I was like, okay, let's go and see this. And I liked it so much more than I thought I would. I cried, I was angry, I was emotional. And yeah, it's the classic football underdog story, but with a twist, with a new fresh take. Luke Wilson was fantastic. I really liked Martin Sheen in it. And then, yeah, I found myself like watching the football, rooting for them, kind of understanding what was going on. So I highly recommend that one. And then another one that I went into, again, these movies both have this in common as well, sort of sight unseen, but it's an A24 movie. And so I was like, I really feel like I'm going to enjoy this one because it's an A24 movie. Let's go for it. Is Zola. So the posters for this one just say, let me tell you a story, or I want to tell you a story, or I'm going to tell you a story, or something like that. And that is how the movie continues on. Being an A24 film, there's a lot of interesting kind of like editing and a lot of like arty shots with different perspectives, either very far in or very far out, or just focusing on like one face in particular, which I did enjoy. But then I had no idea it was about these two girls who become friends because they realize that they both pole dance and dance in strip clubs for kind of extra money. One of them is being a waitress to the other one, but like it turns into this whole darker thing that was really quite unpleasant and quite stressful to watch. And I was watching this in the middle of a Wednesday afternoon. I was like, I don't think I need this stress in my week. But I knew that it was only an hour and 27 minutes long. I knew I kind of wanted to get to the end of the story, and so I got to the end of the story. I'm not sure I'm any the wiser as to exactly how things ended up for Zola, but apparently it's based on a true story. Now, I haven't delved into this, kind of because I don't want to, because I don't want to know that this actually happened in real life. But, you know, if it is based on a true story, it's apparently based on a bunch of tweets from one side and a bunch of Reddit posts from the other side. And so I find that really interesting, and it's a really interesting premise for coming to any form of storytelling, whether that's a book or a movie or a TV show. And so that's really interesting, and I love what A24 does as a studio in general. Most of the things that they've put out I've really enjoyed, but yeah, this one I thought I was going to automatically really love it. You know, it's got a high, you know, it's about two women, and it's just a high proportion of women on screen, which is great. And I don't mind the fact that, you know, they dance for money, and that's, you know, how they use their bodies. Like, it's not that kind of like got to me, that I didn't enjoy it very much. But I was just like, what is this film trying to say? What is it trying to do? Is it really telling this story? And if so, I need to know how this story ends. I need to know where we are at present day, and I'm not getting that from this. And so I feel like it tells half the story, and I really wanted to see the full thing. And so I was surprised by how much I didn't enjoy this movie. I went into them both knowing very little about them, thinking 12 Mighty Orphans. I even said to my friend when I was calling it 12 Angry Orphans, I'm perfectly willing to walk out of a movie. You know, I've walked out of movies before. She knows I've walked out of movies before. If I'm sitting there going, I would rather be reading my book right now, or I would rather be home in bed right now, then I'm going to walk out the movie. However, 12 Mighty Orphans, I was like, oh, this is epic. I'm glued. Let me see all this action. Whereas Zola, I was like, are we done yet? Like, are we done yet? You know how we talked in the other sequel versus sequel video, how many times I looked at my watch in one sequel versus how many times I looked at my watch in the other sequel. I did not look at my watch during 12 Mighty Orphans, apart from the time when I needed to use the bathroom and I was seeing if I had time left. Like, if we've only got 15 minutes left, I'm not going to leave and use the bathroom. But during Zola, I looked at my watch to go, when is this ending? Like, when can I leave? Have we got enough time to wrap things up? No, we have not got enough time to wrap things up, because they didn't wrap things up. So yes, there you have it. Should you pay your cinema going money to see either of these films? Neither of them have to be seen on the big screen. Absolutely not. Would I recommend seeing Zola at all? No. Would I recommend watching 12 Mighty Orphans? Absolutely. Do you have to see it on the big screen though? No, not really. So yes, however you can access 12 Mighty Orphans, that is my recommendation from this video. It's not something you need to rush to the cinema to see, what with what's coming out next week. Very exciting. Stay tuned for that movie review. And on that note, please make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss my review of Black Widow next week, and also hit that notification bell to be notified when I post my bookish content this week. I have some exciting videos coming up for you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next week with that Black Widow review. Thanks for watching.